Hi, it's December the 15th, and on this day in 2001, the Leaning Tower of Pisa was reopened to the public after 11 years of restoration work to help straighten the tower. The tower was originally begun in 1173, but it was halted 5 years later because after the first three floors were in place, it was already leaning quite a bit. It sat there for 94 years before phase two of construction began in 1272 under the direction of Giovanni di Simone, who attempted to correct the tilt by purposely building the upper stories with one side taller than the other. The four floors that he added only partially mitigated the Leaning Tower's problems, and then the project was halted again for about 12 years when Pisa was defeated by Genoa in the Battle of Meloria. With the change in government, the tower was once again on hold. Work resumed 66 years later in 1350, and finally, after another 22 years of construction, the tower was completed in 1372. That's right, 199 years after it was first started. At the time of its completion, it had only a slight tilt of about 1.5 degrees. Over time, however, the tilt worsened, and it reached close to 4 degrees in 1817, and by 1990 it had reached 5.5 degrees when it was closed for stabilization. The repair work undertaken from 1990 until this day in 2001 resulted in reducing the tilt from about 5.5 degrees back to just under 4 degrees, making it safe once again for all to enjoy. The world marvels at this architectural wonder not because of its perfection, but specifically because of its imperfection. Think about it. There are towers all over the world that don't lean at all, and they don't receive any recognition. But here you have this tower in Pisa, Italy, that's leaning 4 degrees, and the whole world knows about it. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is an iconic landmark for the country of Italy. Sometimes we take a look at our own lives and we see so many imperfections, it's like we're leaning just like the Tower of Pisa. And without God's help, we might just fall over. But the good news is God understands that we're imperfect, and God understands that we're made out of dust. In fact, in Psalms chapter 103, verses 13 and 14, he says, "As a father hath compassion on his children, so the Lord has compassion on those who fear him. He knows how we are formed. He remembers that we are dust." What a relief to know that God doesn't just throw us away when he sees our imperfections. He knows that we're made out of dust. He knows that we need his help. And he knows that we are not perfect, but that we are striving for perfection. And he reaches out to embrace us and to help us stabilize when we find ourselves in difficult times and in times when we're not close to him. Paul understood what this meant, and he wrote in 2 Corinthians 12, verse 10, "Therefore I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, in persecutions, in distresses for Christ's sake, for when I am weak, then I am strong." So when we're weak and we understand and acknowledge our weaknesses, it gives us the opportunity to lean not to our own understanding, but instead to lean towards God and to let him help us, because his strength is made perfect in weakness. Thanks for joining today. Please be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And remember, no matter what December 15th brings your way, it is a great day to live for God.